Curriculum is a word that most people are familiar with. It's the governing document that determines exactly what it is that is being taught in schools all around Australia, and gives reasoning behind education in terms of solid achievements and aims for students to build towards. But to look at it this simply is leaving out the more significant part of the story. Curriculum reform has been a big part of the conversation in the Education Department, and we have seen the release of the Australian National Curriculum as an attempt to standardise education across the board. Over the last 50 years, our society as a whole has seen dramatic change, and this has created a great emphasis on education and its necessity for success in life. Reform has been ongoing in the education system, and there have been more and more attempts to have education act as more than simply a route into the workforce. But what are the implications of this? It's great to say that we want to make education truly valuable and necessary for people, but what does this actually mean? And how exactly are we going about enacting reform to make it meaningful? A lot of these ideas are discussed within a document known as the Melbourne Declaration on the Educational Goals for Young People. This document has served as a guide for the curriculum, which was released in 2012. However, the idealistic goal that has been set for this curriculum has resulted in a lack of cohesion in the way some people view it, and as such there are reviews currently ongoing that aim to refine and adapt the curriculum in such a way that it will be able to meet the lofty expectations that people have set for it. The review has shown some interesting facts of what the people teaching the curriculum believe are the most important aspects of the process, and where the current curriculum is succeeding or failing. Part of this also brings into question the content that students are being exposed to. The argument has been made that a greater focus is required on how civics and democracy are taught in schools, as part of our goal to produce students that understand the way in which their nation functions, in order to enrich their understanding of the world around them. The question of whether civics is simply being implemented wrong or just being dealt with the wrong way in the curriculum has led to considerable debate, which has served to shape these reforms present within the national curriculum. And then we have the question of how we should broach our history, building on the question of civics and democracy. Historians have begun to argue that while the darker side of our history is indeed taught to a capacity where it is made known to students, this current approach is simply not taking it far enough in terms of how students understand this history and the way in which it impacts the world today in a very real way. Curriculum as an idea is much more political than was ever made known to us when we sat in a classroom and listened to the teacher. There are so many different aspects that shape these documents, and understanding the methods and reasons for curriculum change and reform creates an interesting image of why curriculum development is so important to everyone.